everyone, and welcome to this edition of HRO Hotspot. My name is Aditi, and as the Chief Editor of Human Resources Online, it's my pleasure to welcome you to this interview. Today, we will be focusing on coaching and how this tool can be used to rethink people development. Now, the importance of developing interpersonal skills is undisputed, yet research shows just how hard it is for managers to develop them. In fact, they are anything but soft skills. Studies by HBR and PwC show, in fact, that the fastest and most effective way to develop interpersonal skills is through executive coaching. So today, let's find out how we can leverage coaching as a powerful career development tool for our workforce. Joining me to explore this topic is our interviewee, Professor Jonathan Passmore, who is the Senior Vice President at CoachHub, which is a leading digital coaching platform. In his role, Jonathan leads CoachHub's Global Coaching Lab, a team of highly skilled behavioral scientists, as well as the Learning Studio, which is an in-house team of learning engineers. Having published hundreds of scientific papers on coaching, Jonathan is one of the top 10 professional coaches in the world. Today, let's collectively tap on his expertise to find out how we can democratize coaching for all career levels worldwide. It's an absolute pleasure to welcome you here, Jonathan. Thank you so much for joining us.
Hello, Aditi. It's a pleasure to join you today.
Thank you so much. So the first question that I have for you today is, now, one of the biggest learnings from the pandemic is the focus on a human-centered approach in a world that is powered by technology. So in your experience, Jonathan, what are the challenges that organizations are facing when it comes to coaching in today's world?
I think there are probably three major challenges for organizations that they're facing and that leaders and organizations must deal with in relation to their teams to get optimum performance. I think the first of those is about managing a more diverse workforce. And I'm talking about this not only in relation to gender and race and ethnicity, but also the diversity in terms of the values and expectations. So managers need to learn to take a more personalised approach to meet with their employees, to help them to be the best that they can, to help their organisations to flourish. I think a second challenge that all of us face is how we are geographically spread but digitally connected. So we're working with individuals on different time zones, just as we're working today in different time zones, and also we're dealing with a multiplicity of languages and organisational cultures. And I think the third challenge that faces all organisations who are global and are operating across the world is that 24/7 economy, the always-on economy, where individuals might wake up of a morning and they're faced with emails from their colleagues in the United States. They don't get a reply because their colleagues on the other side of the world are still sleeping, so they send off a message and of course wait for the reply the following day. But clients are engaging with us all of the time, whether we're eating breakfast, whether at work or whether we're at dinner, and how the employees then are supported to deal with the stresses and strains of that always-on economy. So I think those are probably three of the major challenges that are common, whether you're in Singapore or Southend, whether you are in the west coast of the US or the east coast of China.
Absolutely. I think you summed them up beautifully. All of the challenges resonate with us, no matter which part of the world we're living in, which industry we are in. So let's move on to look at the solutions. Now, what's most exciting about coaching is that it helps to actually unlearn old practices and build new patterns sustainably. So what are some of the coaching best practices that you've uncovered in your years of experience that our listeners who are HR leaders can action immediately?
Well, I think coaching is a very simple technique, but is one that's difficult to do well. And there are a few things that we can take into account, that we can learn from the science of the coaching conversation, that all of us can bring alive in every conversation that we have. And I think the first point of that is starting from where individuals are. So having that conversation that avoids For example, if you're running a leadership program, there's a common syllabus. It's a little bit like a sheep dip process. Everybody goes through a starting point, it goes through each of the modules. And while that's very good at providing input on terms of a technical knowledge, what it doesn't do is recognize the individual differences that each person brings and each person is looking for from their program or their individual development aspirations. So coaching starts from where people are and takes them towards their goals in a very person-centered way. I think the second thing that we can learn from the way coaching has really been evolving over the last 2 or 3 years is what I call the Zoom revolution. That all of us have become very comfortable with engaging, just as we are this morning, on a platform, having a conversation as if that individual is in front of us. We get all of those visual clues. You're giving me a lovely smile this morning. I've got eye contact with you. All of those are sending me signals about the conversation that we're having. So that Zoom revolution has revolutionized the way that we can have conversation, and it avoids the need for the costs of travel, the environmental impact, and also all of the time that many of us took flying from one location to another to have a conversation or present a conference paper or do an interview such as this. So how do we optimize that Zoom revolution to enable us to have conversations face to face with team members that allow us to understand who they are, the emotions that they're experiencing, and what they're aspiring to achieve? And the third thing that I think is really important that we've learned from the wider research around coaching is its future-focused nature. People are very familiar with therapy and counselling, and they can be very useful interventions for individuals who are suffering maybe with mental health problems or have psychological damage as a result of events or traumas that have happened in their life. What coaching does, still a one-to-one conversation, still informed by psychology, but the difference is that it's future focused. Instead of it being about distress or about damage, it's about desire. What does that individual dream about or desire to achieve in their life or in their particular role? So in terms of conversations with members in our team, if we're using that knowledge about coaching, it's about helping them to think about what do they want to achieve? What is the goal that they're aspiring towards, and place that at the center of the conversation. And when individuals have a clear set of objectives, a clear goal that they're personally attached to, what we see is strong levels of motivation to achieve that goal.
Well, thank you so much for so eloquently painting a picture for us on the ideal coaching conversation and the kind of environment that coaching can really flourish in. Now, my final question to you is, how can CoachHub help CHROs build personalized, measurable, and scalable coaching programs in terms of the value as well as the impact that is delivered?
So CoachHub is a new form of provision because we are capitalizing on that digital revolution. We are taking that psychological perspective, the science of coaching, and embedding that in our practice, and then bringing that together with 2,500 coaches around the globe, different time zones, 70 plus countries, and enabling those individuals to connect one-to-one in a conversation just as we've had, focused around that individual's goals, connected to the organization's objectives, that unleashes the individual talent that enables the organization to flourish and succeed. And we have multiple pieces of evidence from a whole range of clients across the globe who we've been working with, who have unleashed the talent in their organization, addressed issues in terms of performance to help people to clarify and work towards their goals, to address issues of well-being, supporting individuals around stress and the challenges all of us face during COVID and these difficult times. And at the same time, helping individuals to think about their wider stakeholders and their wider system, connecting to not only their leader and manager, thinking about their customers and their clients, their colleagues in their other team, taking alternative perspectives to enable individuals to win as a team, not just individuals.
Well, thanks for that response, and it's amazing to see just how many parts of the employee life cycle coaching really has the power to touch, all the way from performance to well-being. Well, I have to say it has been a pleasure speaking with you today, Jonathan. Thank you so much for joining us and sharing your learning with us.
Thanks, Aditi. It was a pleasure.